In the small village of Rampur, nestled between rolling green fields and a lazy river, lived a poor farmer named Ramu. He had inherited a tiny piece of land from his father, but the soil was dry, and the rains were unpredictable. Despite working from dawn to dusk, he barely grew enough to feed his wife, Radha, and their two children, Mohan and Sita. Every morning, Ramu would wake up before sunrise, plow his land with the help of his old ox, Bola, and sow seeds with hope in his heart. But fate was never kind to him. If the rains were too little, his crops would wither. If they were too much, his fields would flood. The middlemen in the market would pay him meager prices for his grains, and whatever little he earned would disappear in repaying debts. One summer, a terrible drought struck the village. The well dried up, and the river shrank into a thin stream. Ramu watched helplessly as his crops turned yellow and died. His children cried from hunger, and his wife struggled to make one meal last the entire day. Desperate, Ramu decided to seek work in the town. He walked miles under the burning sun, knocking on doors, asking for any job he could find. But the town was filled with other poor souls like him, all searching for work. With no luck, he returned home empty-handed. One evening, as he sat outside his hut, staring at the barren land, an old man approached him. "Son, hardship comes to test us. But remember, even the smallest seed can grow into a mighty tree if given care and time." The next day, Ramu gathered the last few seeds he had left and dug small pits around his land. He filled them with water from a nearby pond and covered them carefully. Every day, he would fetch water, nurture the seeds, and pray for a miracle. Weeks passed, and little green sprouts emerged from the soil. The village laughed at him, saying he was wasting his efforts. But Ramu ignored them and kept working. Then, one day, the clouds gathered, and the long-awaited rain poured from the heavens. His crops, though small, thrived. With patience and determination, Ramu slowly rebuilt his farm. He learned new techniques from travelers and grew different crops that required less water. He even started keeping a few chickens and goats. Years later, the same villagers who had mocked him came to him for advice. His land, once barren, was now the greenest in the village. His children no longer went hungry, and his wife smiled with pride. Ramu had once been a poor villager, but through hard work, patience, and faith, he had changed his fate. And so, the land that had once failed him now flourished under his care.